Look, I need you to be honest with me for a second. Right now, as you're watching this video, what car are you driving? And more importantly, how much are you paying for it every month? Here's why I'm asking. Last week, I met a guy at a coffee shop. Nice guy, sharp dresser, confident. We started talking and he mentioned he makes $72,000 a year. Good salary, right? Especially for someone in their late 20s. Then he walked out to his car, a 2023 BMW 3 Series. Beautiful car. Jet black. I watched him get in and I couldn't help but think that car payment is at least $850 a month, probably more with insurance. Later that night, I couldn't sleep. Not because of the coffee, but because I kept thinking about that guy. Because statistically, there's a 70% chance he has less than $1,000 in savings. There's an 80% chance he's living paycheck to paycheck. There's a 90% chance he's stressed about money right now, at this very moment, despite making over $70,000 a year. And here's what really kept me up. You might be that guy. Or that girl. Different car, maybe, different salary, but the same trap. Because here's something nobody wants to admit. That car sitting in your driveway right now, the one you convinced yourself you could afford, it might be the single biggest reason you feel broke despite working your ass off. I know that hurts to hear. Trust me, I know. Because maybe you're sitting there right now thinking about your own car payment. Maybe it's $772, which is actually the average car payment in America right now. Maybe it's $650. Maybe it's $480. Maybe you told yourself it's only $400 a month. That's nothing. And maybe, deep down, there's this uncomfortable feeling in your stomach right now because you know that car payment is quietly destroying your financial future. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not just the payment. It's what that payment represents. It's the vacation you can't take. It's the emergency fund you don't have. It's the investment account you keep meaning to start but somehow never do. It's the business idea that stays an idea. It's the retirement that keeps getting pushed back. That car payment, it's not costing you $650 a month. It's costing you your freedom. And the worst part, the absolute worst part, you probably make enough money to be building real wealth. The median household in America makes around $75,000 a year now. If you're anywhere near that or above it, you should be comfortable. You should be saving. You should be investing. But instead, you're stressed. You're broke at the end of every month, and you're wondering where all your money went. I'll tell you where it went. It's sitting in your driveway, losing value every single day. So let me ask you again, what are you paying for your car right now? Really think about it. Not just the payment, everything. Insurance, gas, maintenance. If that number makes you uncomfortable, good, stay with me. Because in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how much car your salary actually buys. Not according to the dealership who wants their commission, not according to the bank that profits from your 7% interest rate, but according to cold hard math and the reality of what it actually takes to build wealth in 2026. And I'm warning you right now, you're probably going to get defensive. You might even get angry at me. You might want to click away because it's easier to not think about this. But if you stick with me until the end, you're going to understand why you feel broke despite making good money, and more importantly, what to actually do about it. This isn't going to be comfortable, but it's going to be real. My name is Raihan, and I spend way too much time thinking about why smart people make terrible financial decisions with cars. And if you're someone who's ever looked at your bank account and wondered where all your money went while sitting in a car that's worth less than what you owe on it, make sure to hit that subscribe button if this helps you out. Because here's what we're going to do today. So let's start with the most dangerous piece of advice in personal finance. You've heard this before. Don't spend more than 10 to 15% of your gross income on a car payment. This sounds reasonable, right? It sounds safe. It sounds like something a responsible financial advisor would say. And that's exactly why it's so dangerous. Because here's what most people don't realize. That rule was created by the auto lending industry, not by financial planners, not by wealth builders, by the people who profit when you take out the biggest loan possible. Let me show you what I mean with real numbers. Let's say you make $60,000 a year. That's roughly the median household income in America right now. According to the 10 to 15% rule, you could afford a car payment of $500 to $750. Let's be conservative and say you go for $600. At today's average interest rate of around 7% for a 72-month loan, yeah, 6 years because that's the average car loan length now, which is insane, but we'll get to that, you can finance about $38,000. $38,000 sounds like a lot of car, right? You could get a decent mid-sized sedan, maybe a compact SUV. The bank approves you, the dealership is thrilled, you feel like you're making a responsible adult decision. But here's what nobody tells you. That $600 a month is just the beginning. This is where it gets really interesting because the car payment is actually the smallest part of owning a car. And I know that sounds crazy, $600 is not small, but follow the math with me. That $38,000 car you just bought, the second you drive it off the lot, it's worth $34,000. You just lost $4,000 in the time it takes to drive home. In the first year, it'll depreciate by about 20%. So now your $38,000 car is worth $30,400. But you don't owe $30,400. You owe $36,500 because you're just starting to pay down the principal. You're underwater by $6,100. And here's the really fun part. Most people who buy a car on a 72-month loan don't keep it for 72 months. The average person trades in or sells their car after about 5 years. Let me walk you through what happens. After 5 years of payments on that $38,000 car at 7% interest, you've paid $36,000. You've paid almost the entire purchase price, but you still owe $5,800, and the car is now worth maybe $18,000 if you're lucky, so you go to trade it in. The dealership offers you $16,000 because they need to make money too. You're $5,800 underwater on your loan. They roll that negative equity into your new car loan. Now you're buying a $40,000 car, but you're actually financing $45,800. Your payment goes up, your interest goes up, and the cycle repeats. This is called being perpetually underwater, and it's how people spend their entire lives making car payments without ever actually owning a car. Okay, so let's get to the real answer. How much car can you actually afford? Here's my rule, and I know you're going to hate it at first, but I promise there's logic behind it. Your total car expenses, payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, everything, should not exceed 10% of your take-home pay. Not gross, take-home. And even better, you should buy a car in cash that represents no more than 25% of your annual gross income. Let's see what this looks like in practice with different salary levels. If you make $40,000 a year, take home roughly $30,000, $2,500 per month. 10% of take home is $250 per month for all car expenses. 25% of gross for cash purchase is $10,000. This means you should be driving a $10,000 used car, a 2015 to 2017 Honda Civic, Toyota Corolla, Mazda 3, reliable, efficient, paid for. If you make $60,000 a year, take home roughly $45,000, $3,750 per month. 10% of take home is $375 per month for all car expenses. 25% of gross for cash purchase is $15,000. You're looking at a $15,000 used car, maybe a 2018-2019 Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or even a used Lexus if you're smart about it. If you make $100,000 a year, take home roughly $70,000, $5,833 per month. 10% of take home is $583 per month for all car expenses. 25% of gross for cash purchase is $25,000. Now you're in the territory of a 2020-2021 car. Lots of options here, but you're still not buying new. If you make $150,000 a year, take home roughly $100,000, $8,333 per month. 10% of take home is $833 per month for all car expenses. 25% of gross for cash purchase is $37,500. Okay, at this level, you can start considering newer cars, but even here, the smart money is on a 1 to 2 year old certified pre-owned luxury car rather than new. Now, I know what you're thinking. Rehan, you're telling me that even if I make 6 figures, I shouldn't buy a new car? That's ridiculous. I've earned it. And that's exactly the mindset that keeps people broke. Look, let's talk about what you're actually giving up when you overspend on a car. Let's go back to our $60,000 salary example. Remember, following the conventional advice, you're spending $1,120 a month on a car. Following my advice, you'd spend about $375. That's a difference of $745 a month, $8,940 a year. Let's say you're 30 years old. If you took that $745 a month and invested it in a simple index fund averaging 8% annual returns, by the time you're 65, you would have $2.6 million. Read that again, $2.6 million. That's not a typo. That's the actual opportunity cost of driving a car you can't afford for 35 years of your working life. But it gets even better, or worse depending on how you look at it. Because most people don't just make this mistake once, they repeat it every 5 to 6 years for their entire working life. The average American will own 12 cars in their lifetime. If each of those cars is $20,000 more than what they should have bought, that's $240,000 in overspending. But that's not the real number. The real number is what that $240,000 would have grown to if invested. Compounded over a working career, we're talking about the difference between retiring with $3 to $4 million versus retiring with $500,000. Your car is not just expensive, it's the primary thing preventing you from building generational wealth. Here's something I think about a lot. Why do we do this to ourselves? I mean, logically, we all know that cars depreciate. We all know that we're paying interest to borrow money for something that's losing value. We all know that there are cheaper alternatives. So why do we keep making the same mistake? The answer is cultural programming, and it runs deep. From the time you're a kid, you're taught that cars equal freedom, cars equal success, cars equal adulthood. Think about every coming-of-age movie you've ever seen. What's the pivotal moment? Getting the car, getting the keys. And then you grow up, and the marketing gets more sophisticated. It's not just about transportation anymore, it's about what the car says about you. This isn't just a car, it's a statement. You've worked hard, you deserve this. More than a car, it's a lifestyle. These aren't just slogans, they're psychological manipulation designed to make you associate your self-worth with what you drive. And social media has made it worse, because now you're not just comparing yourself to your neighbors, you're comparing yourself to everyone. You see influencers in Range Rovers. You see your high school friends posting photos with their new Tesla. You see luxury cars everywhere you look. What you don't see is that 73% of luxury car drivers are leasing or financing. You don't see that the average millionaire drives a 4-year-old car. You don't see that Warren Buffett, one of the richest people on the planet, drove a Cadillac DTS for 10 years before finally upgrading. The actual wealthy people, they don't care about looking wealthy. They care about being wealthy. The more money you make, the more pressure you feel to upgrade your car. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the most insidious wealth killers out there. You get a promotion. Suddenly, you're making $80,000 instead of $60,000. That's $20,000 more a year. You're rich. And the first thing you think is, I can finally afford a nicer car. So you trade in your paid-off Honda Civic for a $35,000 Audi on a loan. Your payment goes from $0 to $650 a month, plus higher insurance, plus premium gas, plus more expensive maintenance. You just turned a $20,000 raise into $400 in actual increased spending power, because the rest went to the car. This is how people make $100,000, $150,000, even $200,000 a year and still live paycheck to paycheck. Every time their income goes up, their car payment goes up to match. And the really crazy part? The stress doesn't decrease, because now you're making more money, but you still can't save. You still can't take that vacation. You still can't afford to start a business or invest in real estate or do any of the things that actually build wealth. You're just driving a nicer car while you're stressed about money. All right, so what do you actually do? Because I can't just tell you everything you're doing wrong without giving you a path forward. Step 1. Calculate your real car budget. Take your monthly take-home pay and multiply it by 0.10. That's your total monthly car budget for everything. If that number makes you panic, good. That means you're currently overspending. Step 2. If you're underwater on a current loan, stop the bleeding. Look, I know you don't want to hear this, but if you're underwater on a car loan, you have two options. Option A, keep the car and aggressively pay down the loan. Every extra dollar you can find goes to the principal. Stop going out to eat, cut subscriptions, sell stuff you don't use. Get out from underwater as fast as possible. Option B, if the payment is truly crushing you, consider selling the car and taking out a small personal loan to cover the difference. A $5,000 personal loan at 10% interest for 2 years is better than a $35,000 car loan at 7% for 5 years. Then buy a $3,000 beater with cash until you can save up for something better. Step 3. Start saving for your next car now. Even if you currently have a car payment, open a separate savings account called Car Fund. Every month, put something in there, even if it's just $100. When your current car is paid off, keep making that payment to yourself. In 2 to 3 years, you'll have $10,000 to $15,000 in cash. You can buy a reliable used car outright. No payment, no interest, just ownership. Step 4. Shift your mindset from monthly payment to total cost. Never ever ask how much per month. Ask what's the total cost. Ask how much interest will I pay. Ask what else could I do with this money. The monthly payment is designed to make you stop thinking. Start thinking. Step 5. Understand that driving a modest car is not a sacrifice. This is the big mental shift. You've been programmed to think that driving an older, less expensive car is somehow shameful. That means you haven't made it. But here's the truth. Driving a $15,000 paid-off car while investing the difference is not a sacrifice. It's a strategy. Every person I know who has actually built significant wealth, I'm talking millions in net worth, drives a car that's worth less than 5% of their net worth. They understand that cars are tools, not status symbols. The real flex isn't the car, it's freedom, the options, the ability to quit a job you hate because you're not trapped by car payments, the ability to start a business because you have capital saved, the ability to retire early because you invested instead of financed. I call it the 5-year challenge, and it will change your financial life if you commit to it. For the next 5 years, commit to driving a car that's below your means, way below, embarrassingly below if that's what it takes. If you make $60,000, drive an $8,000 car. If you make $100,000, drive a $12,000 car. If you make $150,000, drive a $20,000 car. And take every single dollar you would have spent on a car payment and invest it, every month without fail for 5 years. Do you know what will happen? In 5 years, you'll have $50,000 to $100,000 in investments, depending on your income. Your net worth will have increased by more than your entire peer group. You'll have options they don't have. And here's the kicker. After those 5 years, if you really want to, you can take 25% of your net worth and buy a nice car with cash, not financed, cash. But I'm willing to bet that by year 3, you'll stop caring what you drive because you'll have tasted what it feels like to have money working for you instead of against you. Look, I'm going to be real with you for a second. Everything I've said in this video is mathematically correct. The opportunity cost is real. The depreciation is real. The wealth building potential of not overspending on cars is real. But you're probably still going to buy more cars than you should. And I know why, because it's not really about math. It's about identity. It's about feeling successful. It's about that dopamine hit when you drive a car that makes you feel like you've made it. I get it. I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you that you have to choose. You can feel rich or you can be rich. In the beginning, you can't be both. The people who look wealthy and the people who are wealthy are usually two different groups. And 20 years from now, the gap between those groups will be enormous. The ones who looked wealthy will still be making car payments at 60. They'll be stressed about retirement. They'll be wondering where all their money went. The ones who actually became wealthy, they'll be financially independent. They'll have options. They'll have freedom. And nobody will remember or care what they drove in their 30s. Your salary doesn't determine how much car you can buy. Your values do. If you value looking successful today, you'll finance a car that's too expensive and rob your future self of security and freedom. If you value actually being successful tomorrow, you'll drive something modest, invest the difference, and build real wealth. The choice is yours, but you can't make both choices. The math doesn't allow it. If this video changed how you think about car buying, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Every week, I break down the psychology and math behind financial decisions so you can build actual wealth instead of just looking wealthy. And if you're currently underwater on a car loan or struggling with car payments, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. You're not alone in this. Most people are in the same boat, but most people also never get out of it because they never talk about it. The first step to solving a problem is admitting you have one. I'll see you in the next video. Now, go sell that car.